Welcome to the FAFSA Demo. I'll show you what to expect from the 2026-27 form and how to avoid common errors. Let's get started. There are three options for the 2026 to 2027 FAFSA. Start, edit, or accept an invitation. We will start a new form. Either the student or parent can start the form, but we recommend starting with the parent. When the parent logs into the FAFSA, they will input the student identity data. This must match the information on the student's federal student aid account. If corrections are needed, click here. This section determines if the student is dependent or independent. First, indicate the student's marital status. Next, select the student's college grade level and then indicate if the student will already have their bachelor's degree. This page asks if the student is a veteran or actively serving in the armed forces, has dependents, is an orphan or is a ward of the court, is in foster care, or is in legal guardianship with someone other than a parent. The next page asks if the student is an unaccompanied youth or is homeless. The last page of this section asks if there are any unusual circumstances that would prevent the student from providing parental information. For students to apply for more than an unsubsidized loan, parents of dependent students must provide their information. The data on this page is pulled from the parent's federal student aid account. Go to Account Settings to change any of this information. Parents must give consent for their 2024 federal tax information to be pulled from the IRS into the student's FAFSA. Tax information will not appear on the FAFSA, it transfers behind the scenes. Select the option that applies to the parent's marital situation. If parents are married or unmarried and living together, both parents will need to include information on the FAFSA. If remarried, include the parent and step-parent information. If separated or divorced, the parent who provided the most financial support for the student in the last 12 months will complete the FAFSA. This page asks if the parent received federal benefits such as Earned Income Tax Credit, free or reduced lunch, Medicaid, or SNAP benefits. If the parent received any of those federal benefits, they will not see the asset questions on the FAFSA. Household size is determined by the number of individuals on the parent's 2024 federal tax return. If necessary, parents can include additional dependents on the FAFSA by answering yes. Indicate the number of dependents who will be in college. On this page, parents will be asked additional information from their tax return. If the question does not apply, enter 0. If applicable, report child support received from the last complete calendar year. Depending on when you file the FAFSA, this might be 2024 or 2025. Next, report the total amount the parent currently has in savings and checking accounts. For investments, include stocks, bonds, CDs, the net worth of rental property, and the value of a 529 plan, but only for the student completing the FAFSA. Exclude the value of the parent's primary home and any qualified retirement accounts. If the parent owns a business with over 100 employees or is a minority stakeholder in a business, include its net worth. The net worth of an investment farm is also reported. If the parent is married or remarried, include the spouse's date of birth. If the parent filing status is married filing separately, enter the email address for the secondary parent. Review the information the parent provided on the FAFSA. Agree to the terms and select Sign. Next, log out of the parent student aid account so the student can log in using their username and password. The student dashboard shows that action is required to complete the 2026-27 FAFSA. Provide consent and approval for the IRS to pull over the student's federal tax information. This consent is required even if the student did not file a tax return. The student will answer similar questions about additional tax information. If the questions do not apply, enter 0. Report the student's assets, including savings, checking, and any investments. If the student owns a business with over 100 employees or is a minority stakeholder in a business, include its net worth. The net worth of an investment firm is also reported. Again, review all the information provided on the FAFSA, agree to the terms, and select Sign and Submit. This FAFSA confirmation page includes the student's eligibility for a Pell Grant, their student aid index, and how to track the status of the student's FAFSA submission. We hope this video helps you complete the FAFSA. If not, contact Education Quest for an appointment.